Welcome to Adding Dollars. In this video, I'll be going over my weekly update on the highest volatility stocks, so stocks that are paying the highest premiums for covered calls and cash secured puts. Before jumping into this week's scan, if you're new to cash secured puts or covered calls, make sure to check out the videos in the description. Now let's go ahead and jump into this week's high volatility scan. As always, I'm in the Thinkorswim platform and I'm on the scan tab. And I'm going to be scanning the S&P 500. If you want to see me scan a different list of stocks, feel free to leave that down below in the comments. Now that I've scanned the S&P 500, I have a list of all of the stocks in the S&P 500 sorted by implied volatility, so the highest implied volatility at the top and then descending from there. This is after hours data, so some of this may look different when the market opens or when this video comes out. At the top of the list, we have Super Microcomputer. We also have a lot of stocks with earnings coming up soon. That's what these symbols usually indicate. We always look at Super Microcomputer, or we have quite often in the past, so I'm going to go ahead and skip that one this week and look at the next highest one, which is Moderna. Let's see, it looks like it has earnings coming up on November 7th, and it's currently trading at about $52 with an implied volatility of about 85%. We can now jump over to the trade tab so we can see what kind of premiums Moderna is currently paying out. I'm going to be looking at the 8 days out options, so options expiring the following Friday. And before I jump into analyzing cash secured puts and covered calls, I want to call out this custom column that I have on my platform called percentage premium. Basically, it is a custom script that calculates the percentage profit for selling a cash secured put at a specific strike price. So that's calculated based on how much premium you would be able to collect divided by the risk if you did end up getting assigned. And similarly, the column is here to show you the profit for covered calls as well. If you're interested in adding this to your own trading platform, then check out the link in the description where I have free instructions on how you can add this. Now let's go ahead and start by looking at cash secured puts. It looks like you can make about 1% or 0.95% selling the $49 cash secured put. This means you would collect about $45 in premium, and the risk here is if you did end up getting assigned on this position, you would need $4,900 in order to purchase 100 shares of the stock. On the covered call side, you could buy 100 shares right now for $5,280, and then you could go ahead and sell the $53 call options and collect about $170 to $175 in premium for selling that, and that would be about 3.36% in 8 days. Jumping back to the scan tab, let's go ahead and look at another one. Let's look at First Solar Inc. Looks like it has earnings coming up a bit sooner, so next week on the 29th of October, currently trading at about $196 with an implied volatility of about 85% as well. Let's go ahead and jump back to the trade tab so we can see what kind of premiums it's currently paying out. Keep in mind this is a more expensive stock. It looks like you could make 1% selling the 177.5 cash secured puts. This means you would collect about $170 to $175 in premium, but the risk here is if you did get assigned, because this is a more expensive stock, you would need $17,750 in order to purchase 100 shares of the stock. On the covered call side, it would cost you $19,604 in order to purchase 100 shares of the stock. But then you could go ahead and sell the 197.5 call options and collect about $730 in premium, or about 3.78% in 8 days. It's important to keep in mind that this option expires next Friday, but the earnings occur before that, so the stock may swing up or down depending on how the market reacts to the earnings. Jumping back to the scan tab, let's go ahead and look at one more. Let's look at Palantir. I don't think it's one we've looked at in a while. Earnings coming out on November 4th, currently trading at about $43 with an implied volatility of about 74%. Let's jump back to the trade tab and see what kind of premiums it's currently paying out. For cash secured puts, it looks like you could make about 1.11% selling the $42 cash secured put. This means you would collect $46 in premium for selling that cash secured put. And your risk here is if you did end up getting assigned on the position, you would need $4,200 in order to buy 100 shares. On the covered call side, you could buy 100 shares right now for $4,356 and then go ahead and sell the $44 call options and collect about $89 or $90 in premium, or about 2% in 8 days. Jumping back to the scan tab, feel free to pause the video and take a look at the full list of S&P 500 stocks sorted by highest implied volatility at the top and then descending from there. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave those down below and I'll make sure to answer them. And as always, if you want to help support the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.